We're here at Errol down at the south coast. Welcome to this week's Rock and Surf Insert. And fishing alone today. Rudolph has abandoned me. He's guiding the ladies during the ladies nationals. And my first bait here at Errol got a nice Adcan marine mackerel, and looks like I've hooked a little blackfin. Jumping around, causing a bit of havoc in the water. I'm not putting too much pressure on the fish. Once you put too much pressure, it ends up breaking the trace. So I'm just letting this fish do what it wants in the deep, and see if we can get it out. Wow, there you have it. One of the target species down here. Nice little blackfin shark. Only about 35 or 40 kilos. Beautiful flight. Eats the bait, jumps around. But you got to have your heaviest wire, big tackle, strong hooks. And it's a nice result. Get the hooks out. Watch out, shot. Let's get this guy back in the water. He's ready to go. Or should I say, she's ready to go. Well, just shows you what pressure these blackfin put these traces under. That was just a small guy. The hooks were sitting nice and proud in the mouth, but because of the jumping, if you have a look at the trace, it's an absolute knot. So I don't even know where to start with this. I'm going to have to cut my trace. I don't even know how to explain how many different types of angles that he twisted in just to get this knot. That's why you need a nice leader wire, at least a meter and a bit of wire above your trace, and a nice meter long actual trace itself to the hooks. Phew, nice fish. Alright guys, I just want to talk a little bit about fishing for blackfins, and it's one of those topics that we really don't go into too much detail, but it's one of those fish that will absolutely give you a headache constantly over and over and over if you don't use the right tackle. I just want to show you the trace that I'm using. I'm fishing with two Teno Gamakatsu octopus. They're really quite strong. We haven't had any failure with them. 200-pound nylon coated wire, and a trace about a meter long. Basically a trace to a non-return slide. And obviously that non-return slide, you want to have it where your bait is dynamic enough to go through the water with ease without it twisting up. Nice meter long trace, two big hooks, and every now and again when the water is quite clean, I like to use a nice skirt. It's just that extra bit of attraction that sometimes helps the fish find the bait. I like to have a nice nylon coated leader, which is basically a wire leader, and that I'll make about 1.5 meters. All it is your ring that you've got to that stops your non-return slide going down. You tie a bit of wire to that, and then you make that 1.5 meters, and then all I do is with a nice big thick mono leader, I tie a double figure of 8 to that, and then I've got 1.5 meters of wire leader, and then I've got 1 meter of wire trace, which gives me 2.5 meters, which is in many cases adequate for those blackfin sharks. And remember, always when you're sliding baits, remember to use a nice big sinker with long wires that makes sure that when you're sliding those big baits, it doesn't pop out of the sand. Make sure when you are targeting these species, have the right tackle, and you will increase your opportunity to get the fish out. Well, that's the end of our little session here on the beach. To go home.